Welcome to Van Tate's Sports Office, an in-depth look at the world of sports, featuring exclusive interviews with our KRQE News Sports Director, Van Tate, sponsored by Caesars Sportsbook at Route 66 Casino.
We are talking about basketball in the sports office because we have a former Lobo, number one first round pick of the Boston Celtics from back in the day. And I already gave it away, didn't I? JR Giddens is here. JR, what's good, man?
What's up, Van? How you doing, man? Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, as soon as you got back from doing your couple of years in China, I was going to have you come through, man. I was like, I got to see what's going on in his head right now.
Yeah, I know. We've been doing this for years now. So.
Yeah. How was that, man? How was this latest tour of basketball that you were doing?
It was great, man. You know, China I took a great learning experience from China as a professional athlete and as a coach. So I got a chance to be the player coach out there and tour and play versus the top levels of basketball out there in China and in a lot of major cities. So I really took the advantage of being able to play pro again and then being able to coach professional athletes in a high-level league versus professional coaches, professional players. So I've been doing that for 2 years, and I'm ready to bring that experience back here to Albuquerque.
Well, you know, when you're talking about being a player coach, man, it just seems like that's wearing those hats. Do you ever get in there where you're looking at the guys playing? How do you pump them up at the same time you're playing with them? You know, that would seem like that would feel weird, man.
You know what? It's a real slippery slope, and I think people got to give Bill Russell a lot more credit than they did because the last 2 championships he won for the Celtics, he was a player coach. Yeah. And so I think for me, what I learned from that is just, you know, You gotta really play a mind game and play both sides, you know, because when you're a player, you know, you're out here trying to be competitive, you're trying to win, and then when you're a coach, you're teaching. So it's like you got to play both sides in the game. Sometimes you got to be a coach, sometimes you got to be a player. You know, as a coach, sometimes somebody might be like, "Hey man, like you didn't pass me the ball," or something like that. And, you know, that's when you turn into a player and you be like, "My bad." And then as a coach, you know, sometimes a player might mess up a play and you're trying to correct them. They're like, "Man, I know what I'm doing." It's like, "Hey, man, it's my play, bro. Like, just right now I'm talking to you as a coach. You're in the corner over here. You're supposed to do this, or let's get over the screen. Like, I'm right here next to you. I can see it." So
yeah. Do you ever have to rein yourself in? Like, I mean, somebody's doing something, they were just messing up, and you're like looking at the side of their head, going like, "Man, you really messing up right now."
You know what? I think you're just double or overly emotional because you're upset sometimes when you make mistakes as a player. Yeah. And then sometimes you're upset as a coach when your team makes mistakes. Right. And, you know, it's a slippery slope, but it's, like I said, it's made me become a better coach, and then I appreciate playing basketball a lot more because it was towards the end, you know.
Yeah. Do you have? I'm sure you have aspirations to continue coaching, and New Mexico is a place that you've been in for a while, and you got roots here, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I got here when I was 20 years old. That was 20 years ago. So I got 20 years.
That's crazy, man. I can't
20
believe
years
the time,
here, man. 20 years
Yeah.
here, man. So now, man, you know, I got my coaching start out there in northern New Mexico. And then after that, you know, I went to China. Now I'm going to be the head coach at Albuquerque Prep, ABC Prep, of their post-grad team. So I'll be doing that out here in Albuquerque. And I'm excited to get back out there in that coaching world full time.
Now, do you ever get the itch to, like you said, you're done playing?
Yeah.
Is that 100%? Because all these, you know, like I think I've talked to you like 3 other times where you said like, "Man, I don't think I'm going to go with, hey, Van, I'm going here." And I'm going, "Oh, okay, you are playing." So
you know what? When God shuts one door, he opens another one. And basketball's been a part of my life playing for so long. Yeah. You know, sometimes the opportunities might be better playing than coaching, depending on the moment. But I got a great opportunity here with ABC Prep, possibly next year. Most likely I'll try out for the Big 3 again. If that happens, then it happens and I'll play. But if not, then I'm really focused on playing full time. I mean, on coaching full time. I want to be a Division I coach one day. That's my dream. You know what my dream is.
Yeah, no, I know.
Where I would love to coach one day and get a chance to, you know, bring everything that I've learned all around the world back here in Albuquerque. Hopefully that happens one day.
I wonder if some, you know, like when I look at places in the state where, you know, like, hey, where could he go, like, get a start and do some things? And I'm thinking, man, when is Central New Mexico going to have a basketball program?
I mean, it's crossed my mind a few times. You know, I've talked about it with some good friends of mine
Yeah.
and stuff. So they've been inquiring about that. I think that it would be good because a lot of New Mexico kids get overlooked, and I think that it could be a competitive program, you know, at an NAIA level, D2 level immediately.
The conversation is just getting started. We have more on the other side.
When you first got here and started playing, what did you think of your surrounding as far as basketball surroundings, the competition level and things like that? Because, I mean, you came in with the big resume, man. McDonald's All-American, Kansas, you know, like you had that resume.
Yeah, we had played in the NCAA tournament. You know, one thing, when I first transferred here, the transfer team was crazy, man. They had a lot of guys that the Lobo fans never got a chance to see, like Josh Jenkins, Justin Hoke, Anthony Teague. We had Justin Holt. We had a lot of players here that, that were on that transfer team. So when I transferred in, it was Mark Walters, Chris Collins, Dave Quixote.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They had a really good squad. Tony Dandridge was here. Darren Prentice, Daniel Ferris was a young guy, so it was like practices were so competitive. We were really going at it every day. Another guy that people never got a chance to see, Kyle Prohaska, like Richie McKay, he had put together a very Avenger squad of guys that, second chance guys like myself, and we came from all over. It was unfortunate everybody didn't make it to the season time. I think I barely made it to the season time.
It was just you, right?
But me and Aaron Johnson, we ended up making it through the summer and getting into the season.
Man, I don't think a lot of people realize that all those guys were there and didn't make it.
Didn't make it, yeah. Something happened one way or another, and they were unable to go off into the season. That was one of the reasons I actually transferred to New Mexico. When I came on my visit, there was a lot of guys that I felt like, had been at some bigger Division I schools or big-time JUCO players that got overlooked. And when I came on my visit, we looked like we were going to do some damage.
We're going to be nice.
We ended up doing that. But, I always I say this story because he's a brother of mine. I always tell Josh Jenkins, he owes me a couple $1 million because if he would have never if he would have made it to play for the Lobos that season and been my point guard, I probably would have got drafted earlier. So every time I see him, I'm like, and I see his brother, Damien, if you guys are listening right now, I love you, my bro. But y'all owe me a couple of M's, man.
You still ended up getting in the first round, and go back to that day, man. You in the green room, right?
No, I watched it at the Rudy Davilo Center here in Albuquerque.
Okay, I can't be mad. I got. There's cobwebs.
You were there afterwards.
Yeah, I was there too.
You were there afterwards, man. We were doing it.
I got cobwebs in my head, man.
Yeah, my phone was freezing. I couldn't even respond to messages.
Man, there's some places in my brain, man, where I'm just blowing off dust.
I watched it here with my teammates, my academic advisors, and some people that were very close to me. And we watched it out there in the practice facility. It was a very emotional day. Yesterday was draft day.
Did you think you were going to get first round?
Well, Memphis had guaranteed they were going to take me at 28, so it was unfortunate that Darrell Arthur, the guy of Kansas, the national champions that year, he had something wrong with his liver and his physical, so he didn't pass his physical. So the guy slips out of the lottery, and Memphis takes him at 28 when they were supposed to take me. They literally guaranteed they were going to take me. But it is what it is. It was still a great day. Draft day for any sport, football, basketball, baseball, is always emotional for me because I feel like I know every emotion that these kids are going through. Some people know where they're going to go. A guy like me, I'm on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to go first round, second round, maybe not go at all. So it's like that day was, it was definitely on my mind. Crazy.
So the overall pick was
30th.
So you were the last pick of the first round.
Yeah, I was the last pick of the first round.
Were you sweating, man?
Oh, I was sweating, man, big time. I can't even. Like, here was the crazy thing is I got this room full of people that are expecting me to get drafted. So I told them, I was like, there's a possibility that I could go earlier, but I was like, for sure 27, and 20, 28, 29. I think those are my best bets. I didn't even know Boston liked me. So after I didn't go at 28, I got to stand up and announce to the whole room, like, hey, I'm not going. And so that's like, And I had to stand up and do it again, back to back. And it's like, so after I sit down and I'm trying to play it cool, and everybody there doesn't want to see you win, so I'm squeezing my AAU coach's hand. I'm like, am I even gonna get drafted? But they called my name, and it was after that, it was a sigh of relief, man. And being on a young guy on the veteran team, just didn't get a lot of playing time for my 2 years there, and that's just kind of how my stint went in Boston. Great, amazing experience. Man, I was around some great people, but not the best playing experience for a young guy that's trying to get into his second contract.
Yeah. So what did you learn from that experience that was something that you didn't expect, or what surprised you most about being there? Or, because people see the NBA, they see the NFL, they see all these things, but when you're there, it's probably different than when you're just on the outside looking in.
I mean, it's bigger than anything that you've ever been a part of, especially when you go to the defending world champions. And you got, by the time you get to the team, Kevin Garnett's made $300 million. This guy's made $200. This guy's made $100. This guy, they're Hall of Famers, and seeing them really trying to win a championship again is like,
everybody's locked in.
Everybody's locked in, from the basketball managers to the social media crew to the trainer, the training staff, the athletic training staff. Everybody's locked in and trying to get it again. So it was a wonderful experience being on a team of such high caliber with such high caliber players and coaches.
And that went with you your whole career, didn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Because I was watching you play, like even in these when you play with the Enchantment. Yeah. Something like that. And I'm just like, man, these guys are younger than him, but he's like the best player on the floor. What's going on? Because I'd be watching and I'd be like, man, if JR wasn't there, they're not going to win, So
I don't want to say all of that. I mean, I think that we played a tough game. My teammates, we all, it was a team effort.
I mean, you did. It is a team. It's a team effort.
We win together, we lose together. But, I've been able to be a guy that likes to stay fit over the years. So at that time when I was retired, I took it personal, to get in shape for the TBT, and knowing I was going to be, the captain, the leader of that team, just going up to trying to win $1 million. Plus, it was like, my chance to show everybody like I still got it. I couldn't wait for the pros to get back in town and to practice with them. I remember after the first couple practices, because it's like, some people retire because they don't have it. I just retired because I got a different coaching opportunity. Yeah. I like to say I was getting the best of some of these players that came in town. I'm not going to mention no names because they're current pros now. But they were like, hey, man, you don't want to play anymore? Like, are you sure? I'm like, I can still play. I'm just choosing not to play, trying to transition off into coaching. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do the right things to put myself.
Don't be that boxer, man.
Yeah,
I got one more in me, man.
And he's out.
Yeah.
But now I was just trying to, at 35, at that point, I was just trying to transition off into coaching full time, and I got an opportunity to be a head coach in college, and that was a big step. Now I have that on my resume as well as being a pro coach. So now, 5 years, over the last 5 years, I've been able to build a coaching resume that hopefully can help me become, land a job on a Division I staff in the next year or two.
And this is a heavy topic here, man. Something that was just weird. It was a rough year last year for former Lobos, man.
Man, it was, honestly.
Greg is not with us, Ruben's not with us, and Drew. I mean, when all of that, were you? Because I was sitting, I asked the guys I work with, Jared and Brad, what's going on, man? What's this is crazy?
Well, no, because we lost. Yeah, we lost.
Andre McGee.
Andre McGee, yeah. And so for me, It was an emotional time for me because I got a chance to spend time with, a lot of those guys.
I know, yeah.
Not as much time with Rube because he wasn't here. He was in and out, but with Drew, obviously, and Coach Brown, Greg.
And Ruben would come through. Every time Ruben came here, he came through he came in and chopped it up with us,
So it was crazy.
I had just talked to him like a few months prior to that, and I thought he was doing something, like he was working on something when he was talking to me, because he was taking these long pauses, and I don't know if he was dealing with some battling some health issues then, because I thought I didn't think of it until after all of that happened. I thought, the last time I talked to him, he was it was like he was in and out on the conversation.
Yeah, I was talking just recently with my friend over there about when I was talking with Kevin Scarborough before he passed.
Oh,
and,
man,
you know,
dude, that gutted me right there.
I was, you know, all of them, but Scar really.
Because me and Scar were in school together, man.
You know, Scar was talking to me and he was telling me, you know, about the stuff that he had going on. You know, I'm not paying attention. I'm like, oh, sorry, Scar. Like, you gonna be all right, baby? He's like, nah, man. You know, I just haven't been feeling right, JR. You know, Scar is.
Yes, and he tells you straight up.
And then he tells you straight up, and it was just like I felt like, you know, those was one of the times that he was trying to call people and talk to them because he knew.
Yeah, he talked to me too, man.
Yeah, you know, he had been calling me more frequently, and we were just supposed to go off and do some stuff on some reservations. You know how Scar.
Yeah, you got all the camps and stuff. Yeah,
and we were in the process of setting that up, and I just wish that, you know, I would have took a little bit more time with him.
Right.
Really telling me he wasn't feeling right, and I'm trying to tell him, you know, you're trying to be positive, and then that happened, and it was just like, wow. You know,
I could tell that was so. Like I said, I had to do sports that day, so I had to do his story. So it was gut wrenching.
Yeah.
And then my kid called me like super emotional.
Yeah.
And some other kids around the state called me. You know, so it just shows you, and they were all, it's so funny, they were all in different decades. So it just shows you how much his reach was in the basketball community.
He gave back a lot to the basketball community here in New Mexico after his time with the Lobos. I mean,
a lot.
I don't think I know any one person that's done more than Kevin Scarborough.
I know. You know what? I would tell people that. I would say, hey, man, if you want to give somebody some flowers, make sure you give him some, because this dude is doing stuff, and he's not asking for recognition. He's just doing it, and
every year.
And there was so many people. That's the one thing about it. There was so, I can't name how many kids called. Yeah. And they were from all different decades. I just noticed that. Like, it was just people from, and people like my age, people, you know, like, it was all kind of people, man.
Yeah, Scar was very, you know, like, he would organize the runs, you know, with all the pros. Danny comes in town, I come in town. You know, we got Chad Top.
Yeah, he did. He organized everything.
Before ABC was ABC, and we were at Rio Grande, or we were at Manal. You know, like, we all have had so many epic hoop battles that were set up by Scar. Like, his footprint, his marks will be left on the city of Albuquerque till the end of time. You know, that's how much of a staple he is in this basketball community and grassroots and the Lobos.
And you know, if he saw us sitting here talking like this, he said, "Man, come on, man, let's tell some jokes." Scar, he was pretty funny, man.
Yeah, Scar was funny, man. He was really funny. I'm gonna miss that guy.
Stay with us. More conversation on the other side.
We'll get back to the episode in a moment. Monica Wicki here, host of New Mexico Living. I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Route 66 Casino and Caesars Sportsbook. If you love sports and like having a little action on the game, Caesars Sportsbook is your go-to destination. For rewards and more info, go to Route66Casino.com. Now back to the episode.
TBT, is that something this year, or like?
I don't think that we'll be able to play in the TBT this year. You know, I think you know, there was a lot of things going on, you know, that we'd have to put it together. I think
it was too much last minute.
Too many things last minute, trying to see what players wanted to come and stuff. Obviously, I haven't played in the last 2 years because I've been in China. But this year was some year that I really wanted to play. But hopefully we can get one going next year. I'll be 41 next year, so I got a few more years.
Man, I can't believe it, man. You going to be 41?
Yeah, I'm going to be 41, man. Dirk Nowitzki coming up. But I'm 40 now. Let's get that. I'm 40 now.
You got 365 before, right?
Yeah, you know, these days, hopefully they don't go too fast, you know.
So as you've been getting older, man, what have you, like, you find yourself exercising more wisdom and feeling like, hey, man, you know, it's just a good, I got up, I could stand up, I can move my arms, it's a good day.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I was telling some of the young guys, you just want to be able to play basketball and do everyday things without pain. You know, I just want to be able to, like, pick up some groceries, you know what I'm saying? Like, pick up my bag, you know? Yeah. But, I mean, I think I'm in really good shape for, you know, my age.
Yeah,
I can still run
man.
and jump and dunk, you know. I was up at ABC, you know, just killing all the campers today. Haven't met one that could guard me. I'm gonna make my way through the city through all these pros too. So you know how it is every year. I gotta come back in town. People think they're gonna beat me again. I gotta run through the whole city and then show them what's up. So I got a hit list. It's going on again.
Oh man, that's better you than me, man. Because I was just, like, I'm at that age where I was just like, I can get you. I'd be like, yeah, okay, you can.
Hey man, they do got the young legs, but they like to go for pump fakes. You know, you see a guy like Luka Doncic, he's not outrunning anybody. You know, basketball's about pace. You know, I can slow it down, take it in the mid post. Now, do I want to play like 5 pickup games back to back versus young whippersnappers? But I can give them a hard 2. And then
you sound like Austin Trout, man. Austin, I was asking him, I said, how long you gonna keep doing it? Because, you know, he's the BKFC champion. You know, he used his boxing career, then he went to the BKFC, and then he's been piecing these guys up, man.
Man, yeah.
And he told me, he said, I got all these young cats coming in the gym, and I keep dominating them. You know, I'm just gonna keep going.
I mean, but like this, they're always gonna have that young energy, but basketball's 80% mental. So it's like, if you know, I still got some athleticism to me. My body's still strong. Like they're gonna have to come off in there and you know just have a really great day to get me on that day. So
any Lobo battles come up in your head, man? That you like if you said like here are my top 3.
I mean, obviously Danny Granger, Josh Jenkins, and
no, I'm talking about Lobo battles like when you guys were playing. Like you playing BYU, you're playing Utah.
Man, you know, all those BYU battles just go up there. You know, even though their fans are like the nicest fans, you know what I'm saying? They're not like they're not, you know, they're rowdy, but I mean at the end, you know, they send you with gift bags and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, they give you like a little care package. You give you a little toothbrush, a little toothpaste. Lotion, deodorant, and they sent you on their way and like shake their hands, and you know they got like 2 or 3 kids and a wife and stuff, and you're like, man, I'm in college, like you know they didn't went off on their mission. They came back. I'm like, man, this dude's got a kid standing up next to him, one in his arms. And I'm like,
yeah, that's how it was when we played him in football. You know, you see a dude with a station wagon, he's got a family.
Yeah, he's like 26, like you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but any battles? I know Lee Kamara, they would talk about you. You guys were cold Mountain West players.
Well, you know, he also had Jimmer Fredette with him. You know, future draft pick, 2nd round draft pick, Trent Plaisted. He had Danny Ainge's son, Austin Ainge, Jackson Avery. Like they had a very, very good squad. But no, we always battled it out with BYU, San Diego State, Lorenzo Wade, Air Force, and that, you know.
Princeton
offense, it was always tough to guard then because back then we had 2 traditional bigs, and you know you couldn't play 2 traditional bigs versus Air Force. You had to play 1 at a time, and then if you do put 2 in, now he's got a guard on the perimeter and a back cut, which he's not familiar with. So yeah, there was a lot of different battles in the Mountain West Conference. Wyoming when they had Brandon Ewing and I forgot what the other guy's name, but no, we had a lot of good battles in the Mountain West. Too many to count.
Well, those are the old days, and we're into the new, and he's J.R. Giddens. Man, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it, man. You know, you like my brother, man.
That's right, man. That's right. Man, it's deep, man. It always goes back, man. So,
sure.
All right, man. He's J.R. Giddens. Fernando Perez behind the controls. We'll see you next time.